today's episode of PJ and the Beard, we're going to take a look at a pedal. But before I get into what it is, because you'll never guess what the giant pedal sitting next to my head or this, we're going to ask you to consider subscribing to the channel, clicking on the notification bell. Your interaction with us helps us interact with great people in the industry. In this case, we weren't able to go to G-Lab directly, but we got in the G-Lab Dual Reverb DR-2. And, the box, the owner's manual for the DR-3 and DR-2, which the Beard will tell you about that in a minute. Yep. I'm going to go with original bubble wrap, maybe not, and then a catalog of some really cool items that may or may not still be being manufactured and available. If not, you can go scour the pre-owned market. So the Beard's going to tell you why we have it, maybe tell you the difference between the couple models.
So G-Lab is a cool company, and I have talked to them in the past, although not for this, although I tried. In the past, I'd gotten in a G-Lab Warren Haynes Wowie Wah, Warren signature wah pedal. Had an issue, a thing with it, reached out to them. They sent me new parts for it, like great guys, easy to work with. I was super impressed. But I reached out about, there's like this black hole. I actually reached out to a dealer on Reverb. Hey, I see you deal G-Lab. They're still around, and the dealer didn't know. So, excuse me, I'm not sure if they disappeared sometime during the pandemic, if things are on hold, like what's going on, nobody seems to know. Hopefully it's coming, it comes back around, they make cool stuff. All right, that's a long story short. Watching the Warren Haynes rig, the latest Warren Haynes rig rundown, but I think if you go back, I kind of feel like, I better not say that. I kind of feel like it might have been a normal Farmer too, but I don't remember. Watching the rundown and saw it on there, and we noticed that we have most of the pedals that Warren has on that rig. We have them or a close variant sitting around. So we're like, hey, let's do an episode on Warren's pedals. Not that that's to come, but we didn't have this, so I scoured the internet, found it on eBay, got it in, and I'm really happy I did. Like, it's going to be a nice piece of gear for us, especially for an amp like the PRS MT-15 that we're using tonight that has zero reverb in it. So that's where we're at. Let's jump into it quick. After I talk for 2 minutes.
You get to do the drive.
So I'm going to... Oh, yes. Wonderful. So, yeah, this is kind of a short reverb like an amp like I would use. We'll give you a little bit of dry on MT-15 and then we'll kick that on, I guess. All right, you ready? There it is. Lovely.
I need a glass of water and a little butter on my toast.
Get the idea. Cool thing about this is it has two programs. So at the top, kind of between the A and the B light, you see a 1 and a 2. We just did that on program number 1. Program number 2 will be a little longer. If I can get you, Pat, maybe to switch it over there. And then maybe sometimes switch it back just so people can hear the difference in context. Sounds like. The idea. So that's cool. How did you set up side A on that, Pat?
I was real imaginative, and I took both of the knobs and turned them as far as they go to the right. I was curious to see where this pedal might be able to go into maybe the ambient world.
So how did you switch it to side A without touching the pad?
Well, I have the JHS red remote that's not necessarily made for this particular
application.
Yes, but it works.
There's a jack in the top for a foot switch. So if you're running like one of the Boss multi-foot switchers or the
if you got a gig rig,
or something like that, you can program that. And Warren, having this sitting back on his Bradshaw system, probably has it tapped in through that switch too. Right. So anyway, sorry.
So our Silver Sky IC, obviously through the same amp. Flip me over there, please. And it sounds like this.
So you're on program 1 right now, and it's pretty big.
Right.
What happens if we switch it over to program 2?
That's really nice.
Yeah. I mean, it's not as big like some of the big shimmer reverbs or whatever, but I almost like it better. Like
it's more predictable. Some of the shimmer ones get a little spacey, and you're like, which octave's going to poke out? But that's kind of shoegazy.
I like it. Sometimes when you put reverbs on your pedal board in front of your amp, and then you hit them with drive from your pedal board, they can get kind of digital sounding. Mm-hmm. I mean, it is a digital reverb, but. Would you like to hit it with some drive?
We'll try. Maybe with a direct drive.
Let's leave it on the really big right now. And we're going to throw the Barber Electronics Direct Drive on. What if I drop it down to 1?
Got a little more manageable. There was a lot of overtones on the other one just because, I mean, it was as long as it could go, and
I mean, big difference if we flip it back over to side A with a really short
right.
reverb on it. Yeah, cool. Last but not least, if we turn the drive back off, why don't we run so you have 2 knobs basically per side. You have a time and you have a level. Why don't I set the level at like 50%, run the time, then set the time at 50%, run the level. We'll just do it real quick to give you, I mean, that's not going to show you every variation or possibility, and we're only doing it on one program, but it will give you an idea with the knobs, maybe how they function. So we'll start like that. So yeah, get the idea. Mm-hmm. I've been digging it. We've had the pedal for a while. We pulled it out a month or 2 ago. I bet you if you go back over the videos for the last month or 2, it shows up a bunch, especially when we do jams and one of us is using the MT-15.
Right.
It's been showing up a bunch on the channel. So we figured we'd sit down and just run through it quick in case somebody was interested. Anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I do like it. So we get the final thoughts, I guess.
Sure.
For me, I've always used reverb in my amp, but I have it down pretty low because I've always covered that spatial territory with delay. I do have some reverbs have a lot of shimmer in it to get those big swells or whatever, but this is really cool because you can do both in one pedal. You could have it set kind of low, like you had it, and play some more rock feeling stuff, and then you could get maybe ambient or progressive or whatever with the same pedal with the one flip of a switch. And it sounds warm. Like, it got a little crazy with the delay with both of them dimed in the longest tail, if you will. But it's a really cool and useful pedal. It would be, we've talked about before, you show up somewhere, maybe a backline doesn't have reverb. If you have this thrown in there, you're good.
Sometimes less is more.
Right.
Sometimes it actually is. Like, as opposed to having a multi... Some of the delays that have, like, endless amount of programs and stuff on them, they can be almost like option paralysis or something. Right. Whereas this... You have 2 delays. Set one long, set one short.
I got you saying delay.
Two reverbs. Set one long, set one short, and off you go.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool. I think it sounds really good. I don't think it hurts that Warren Haynes uses it.
Right.
I don't buy gear because Warren Haynes uses it. There's
something to it.
Yeah, but I mean...
If a guy who could use anything uses that.
I would suspect that he could have whatever reverb pedal he wants on his...
Right.
Board. There's probably a reason for that. Now, I don't think he uses it a whole lot. I think it's something that he uses kind of sparingly. And I'm saying that like I have some kind of authority on it. I watched the rig rundown. You can watch it too.
Thank you for your guitar.
Yeah. And he said he uses it pretty sparingly. So, I think that's it. We always take a minute just to say thanks for watching. Thanks for clicking the subscribe button, hitting the notification bell, leaving comments. Anytime you interact with us, that's what helps us bring cool stuff in to share with you, even if sometimes we go out and buy it with our own money. Right. So with that,
I'm PJ. On behalf of the Beard, remind you, no matter what you hear, you never have too much gear, even if you have to go find it yourself.
I was waiting for... Would you like some Drive?
I think I would.
I was thinking we had a clip to play there.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's give you a doll to you.